So you've given the Earth sprites what for? Well done, Ning. By smiting stone and earth, you've forged unyielding weapons of your fists. You're a nigh endless fount of vigor, Ning. Aye, just like myself in my younger days. This must be the promising recruit you've been telling me about. Well, of course she's promising. She's training under Hamun Holy Feist. That's our Master Hamun. Ning, I don't believe I've introduced my assistant yet. This is Chuchuto. A pleasure to make your acquaintance. As introduced, I serve as Master Hamun's right hand, though there's still much and more I have yet to learn. Together, let us strive for mastery of our art. Chuchuto joined the guild soon after I was made its master. She's my very first student, as a matter of fact. Well, there was one other, to be sure, but... Let's not dwell on the past, Master. It was Ning's bright future we were discussing. Which reminds me, did you collect my gil from her? My gear is rather worn down, and I do need the money for repairs. Ahem! Yes, Ning's future with us is bright indeed. If she keeps up her efforts, she may well become the next Holy Fist. Train hard, young one, and grow strong. When the time's ripe, I'll have another little lesson for you. Ha ha ha. There you are, Ning. I see you've been training hard as ever. Aye, your eyes are starting to have the sharpness of a predator about them. Last time, you learned the basics of combinations. Today, I would have you build on that knowledge. I've set up 5 wooden dummies outside the guild, along the merchant strip. By way of a warm-up, I want you to deal each a solid boot-shine combo. Oh, and don't mind the townsfolk who've gathered to watch. So the wooden dummies have felt your wrath? Good! Now we can move on to your lesson. When you first came to us, I taught you that combinations make a pugilist. What you need to know next is that not any hodgepodge of strikes makes a combination. There's an order to things, a natural flow from one technique to another. Today, I would have you practice one of the most elementary combinations in a pugilist's arsenal. It goes like this. Lead in with a swift boot-shine combo. Keep your foe off balance with a true strike. Then bring it home with a blistering snap punch. With practice, combinations such as this will become second nature. They must if you expect to become an accomplished pugilist. Now, you'll need some opponents to practice on. The Kikirn that infest the rat's nest in central Thanalin ought to serve. Hit them with snap punch 3 times, and we'll call it a lesson well learned. A wise woman once said that she who does not pay heed to the skies will most surely get wet. Sound advice if you ask me. Would you like to hear what the skies tell us this fine day? Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? don't suppose you'd be willing to do a favor for a miner down on his luck, would ye? Rumor is, a man named Beringer at Blackbrush Station is looking to take on miners. I'd go see him myself, but my wife's been taken ill and needs tending to. If you'd be so kind as to take my application to this Beringer fellow, I'd be in your debt. I must have 2 vials of gigantode secretions from the liver of a toxic toad. Please, my friend does not have much time left. Oh, bless you. You are not a moment too soon. After some light preparation, I'll be able to give this to my friend. He has always had a weak heart. Were he rich, he could take the meals and reagents he needs, and we would have no need for such foulness as the bile of toads. Hope is not all that is lost to us here. Gil and good health are scarce as well. A necessary evil in a nation such as Ulda, I suppose. The few at the top feast and flourish, while the many at the bottom starve and suffer. It was so unbearable, having to watch from the shadows while the bandits sold those precious gemstones. The Nashakite. Excellent work, adventurer. You've dealt the bandits a crippling blow. And finally, after being consigned to this shantytown for moons, a chance to improve the plight of the people, of course? Yes, improve their plight. I shall put the Nashakite to good use, worry not. So it is done? Good. I hope that wretch died screaming. Ulda is more prosperous than ever, some say. That may be true for the Syndicate, but none of that wealth has trickled down to the small folk. It's all a mummer's farce. One day, I refused to play my part, and so I was made to leave the stage. My time has passed. The brass blades of the rose must look to others for guidance. As you may have noticed, I'm in no shape to leave Lost Hope right now. So, in my stead, I'd like you to return to Horizon and give this dagger to Fufalupa. Although it's just an old ornamental dagger, it belongs with the brass blades of the rose. I should have given it to the boy before I came here. Breathe, Osbert, old boy. Just breathe. Pain is just weakness leaving the goddamn at my head. If only I had saved a high potion. I think this might be the end. Well, I don't really need this, but if you insist, you have my thanks, adventurer. I was resigned to suffering in silence, for I, Osbert the Undying, veteran of countless battles, could not afford to show weakness to my colleagues and our allies. They looked to me for inspiration, you see. To think that I was almost brought low by a gentle blow to the head. I was only incapacitated for a few moments, I think. To repay you for your discretion in this delicate matter, I shall share with you my warrior's wisdom. If you must practice your juggling, use heavy stones at your own peril. State your business, quick like. I'm busy. Another miner looking for work, is it? Let's see. Everything looks to be in order. Alright, I'll go ahead and add him to the list. These refugees are a bloody 12 cent. They break their backs for next to nothing, and when they're washed up, there's always another to take their spot. The poor fools dig up pebbles worth more than they'll see in their whole lifetime. Yarzia can be a right cruel place at times, but I ain't one to change what ain't broke. met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? That's 4 eyes of the serpent I want. Slay as many Pisces as it takes to procure them. The eyes! My thanks, adventurer. What do I mean to do with these things, you ask? Why, sell them, of course. They may not look like much at first, but if you dip them in an alchemical concoction, they transform into beautiful red gemstones. And these gemstones happen to fetch a handsome price in Gradania. Pisces aren't found in the Black Shroud, you see. As a merchant, it's my job to know such things. Ah, Ning. I received word from Captain Leofric the other day. Thank you for delivering the letter for me. Well, why do you have that dagger? Only a captain of the Brass Blades of the Rose is permitted to possess it. Captain Leofric says I am to have it? There must be some mistake. He couldn't possibly mean to tell me that. No, of course not. I am not worthy to wield it. Nevertheless, I shall respect the captain's wishes and take the dagger into safekeeping until he comes to reclaim it. The Brass Blades of the Rose have need of your assistance once more, Ning. Thaumaturges from the ossuary are presently surveying the footfalls for ancient relics. As the area is rife with wild beasts, the Horizon Garrison has been charged with their security. But Captain Baldwin sent only a handful of brass blades. Despite his assurances to the contrary, such a small unit cannot possibly be sufficient to protect our patrons. I would have you offer your assistance to my comrades. Pray travel to the footfalls and speak with Totaruna. You've already mastered the snap punch combination. Crikey, Ning! You're a natural at it, just like I was. Not to brag, but I happen to be a veritable storm of flying fists when the mood strikes me. I'd treat you to a demonstration here and now, except I'm liable to tear down the entire guild in the process. Master Heyman has a penchant for regaling us with tales of his exploits, but these never amount to a demonstration. His favorite is his victory over the fearsome marauder, Wideaxe, whom he felled with a combination so swift and seamless, they say you couldn't see his hands, or so the legend goes. That one never gets old. Our dearest master's humility aside, your progress is truly astounding, Ning. If I don't keep on my toes, you're like to surpass me in a matter of moons. Just between you and me, Chuchuto's been in a slump of late. It all began when her closest friend and guildmate suddenly up and disappeared. Murukuta's the lad's name, and he and Chuchuto joined the guild together.
Welcome to Final Fantasy XIV. The two of them were born to refugees and were orphaned in the calamity. Not long after I was made guildmaster, I found them on the streets, starved near to death. I did what any decent man would. I took them in and clothed them and fed them. When they were strong again, they said they wanted to become pugilists like me, and so I trained them as well. Since then, they've been best friends and rivals both, one helping to raise the other up. Would that we knew what's become of Rurukuta. But we were talking about you, Ning. You've proven yourself a worthy member of our guild, training hard and learning fast. To recognize your efforts, I grant you leave to join other guilds. Of course, before you can take up another discipline, you need to receive permission from the relevant guildmaster. If combat's your calling, you might like to seek out the gladiators or thaumaturges, but if you'd prefer an alternative to cracking skulls, Ulda's also famous for its weavers, goldsmiths, alchemists, and miners. As your guildmaster, though, it'd please me most if you placed our art above others. But whatever you choose to do, know that I wish you the best. Ah, there you are, Ning. I hope you've come prepared for a lesson. Today, I want you to go and fight the toxic toads that nest at the unholy air. Make no mistake, lass, these toads are huge, which means they have huge guts. But that's beside the point. The point is, you'll need to use your head to overcome them. Thanks to their immense girth, these toads hit hard. Fortunately, they tend to hit wild as well. So bide your time and wait for an opening. And when that opening shows, whack! Rip and tear through your foe with your fists. As proof that you've defeated the toads, I want you to bring me 5 of their legs. Chuchudo and I will be waiting for you at Black Brush Station. Your lesson continues there. Well met, traveler. Might I interest you in a chocobo porter? So, did you bring me the toad legs? Aye, this is the stuff, all right. Now, I just need some butter, a slice of sun lemon, and a pinch of, master? What I meant to say was, you've done well to defeat the toxic toads, Ning. For the next part of your lesson, you'll be putting your endurance to the test against... The talk was true. Haman Holyfist is really here. I can take nary a step outside the guild without being flocked by fans. Such is the price of fame. Please, sir, I have grave need of your legendary skills. Somnus is being smuggled through Black Brush Station. I reported this to the Brass Blades and the Stone Torches, asked them to put an end to it, but they both turn a blind eye. Somnus. That's the mind-warping substance made from dream flowers. Those who overindulge are said to fall into an eternal slumber. A dear friend suffered that very fate. That's why I want to put an end to the smuggling. But I'm just an ordinary person, and there's precious little I can do. You've done enough to bring word to me, friend. For as surely as Haman Holyfist is my name, I'll see the smuggler scum thrown in the dungeon before the bell is through. 12 bless you, sir. You truly are a hero to us all. Slight change of plans, Ning. In place of the endurance test, we're going to find and apprehend the smugglers. But first, we must gather information. You two, find out what you can from the people of Black Brush Station. Report back once you've learned something. Searching for Somnus smugglers, you say? Word is they are associated with the Alacran, a coalition of cold-blooded criminals. But beware, they always act in alliance. There is an abandoned Kukern lair, a short distance west of the Coffer and Coffin. Decent folk tend to give that place a wide berth. Ideal for a smuggling operation, wouldn't you say? It appears a silver-haired Lalafell was seen skulking about the station recently. He was headed west, bearing a suspicious burden, The Alacran. A likely hideout. And a silver-haired Lalafell. I don't like the sound of this. Not one bit. Like as not, the smugglers operate out of the abandoned Kakiran lair west of the Coffer and Coffin. We'll lie in wait for them there. Val's balls. That's... We've really outdone ourselves this time. Master Wegfar's bound to be pleased. Save the talk. We have crates to move. Ruru-Kutta. It is you, isn't it? Chuchudo and Master. It's been a while. You vanished from the guild with nary a word, and we find you here smuggling somnus with those villains. What is the meaning of this? Ruru-Kutta, my boy, I didn't teach you how to fight so that you could become a pox on society. My student or no, you must be held accountable. Chuchudo, Ning, Your lesson begins. Apprehend the smugglers. You lot, take care of these meddlers. Show them the fruit of your training, man. Have no fear. We're students of Haman Holyfist. Where are the marauders' sweeping swings? The enemy pugilists hit hard. Stay light on your feet. Useless. The whole bloody lot of them. Best we flee for now. Haman Holyfist. Just our luck. If you know who I am, then you'll know what's good for you. Come quietly, or there will be trouble. Holyfist? Don't make me laugh. You're being fooled, all of you. Who's fooling who? What in the world are you talking about? It was a dark night several moons ago. I was out in the wilds, training alone. From a distance, I caught sight of Master leaving the tavern and turning for the city. Thinking to accompany him back, I followed on his heels and was about to call out when I saw this. You would challenge the Holy Fist? You have fighting spirit, I'll grant you that. But you do well to know your limits. So be it. Yar. Master? You read my every move. You're no ordinary marmot. Master. Oh, all I wanted was to be surrounded by scantily clad maidens. When my time came, the gods are cruel. Master, what is the meaning of this? Explain yourself! Now you've seen it with your own eyes. Master was beaten by a marmot, a common bleeding marmot. He would remind us how strong he was at every turn, but he was lying through his teeth. I can scarce believe my eyes. Wait till Master Wegfar learns of this. Forgive me, Chuchito. Ning, I didn't mean to deceive anyone, least of all my students. Haman Holyfist conquered every foe that stood before him, but he couldn't conquer old age. My strength, my reflexes, my endurance, they've all left me. There's nothing here but a decrepit old man. I would be alone for a while. I'll make my own way back to the guild. From now on, you're to do as Chuchito bids, Ning. Hail, adventurer. If you would know aught of etherites and ethereal travel, I, Ninabaru, would be happy to assist you. Compared to teleport, return is less taxing on our spiritual energies, as we are naturally drawn towards our home point, the aetherite with which we have the strongest resonance. This spell can be cast quite quickly, making it ideal for emergencies. By way of a drawback, you cannot select your destination at will. Return can only send you back to your home point. Teleport offers greater versatility, in that you can travel to any aetherite with which you have previously attuned. However, it requires a great deal of spiritual energy known as anima to safely guide one's body and soul to the weaker ethereal beacon. Do not worry though, many adventurers recover quickly and are more than capable of frequent travel. That is, assuming they can afford the costs involved. You see, in the Calamity, many of the aetherite camps across Eorzea were completely destroyed. Rebuilding these camps came at a great expense, and the money which made this possible was lent by certain wealthy individuals. This debt is being repaid to this day, and it is for this reason that we must levy a fee upon those who use the teleport spell.
圈，觉得韩国星巴克的绿茶非常好喝，我每天都要买一杯。啊，烤肉也吃了，
好吃吗？
还行。几颗星的话，我觉得满分5颗星，我3颗星吧。
没有吧？不是，就我们队的吧，就欧文吧，从他讲选手。
跟 Wipe 吧，因为我觉得他不是这里的本地人嘛，他肯定很熟。
印象很深刻的事情嘛。其实都挺正常的呀，没有做出什么很抽象的事情，一切都很平稳。
欧文有吗？有没有让你印象很深刻的？
也没有啊，我们都很正常。
作息就是看比赛呗，如果是下午比赛。
受不了，这什么玩意儿？是不是坏了？第二口，不行，第三口，我的天哪！新大陆这酸爽，不敢相信。所以来北京的朋友一定要多喝点豆汁儿。
对，就喝完还得再打包回去给朋友们尝一尝。到时候豆汁儿会感谢白果，大家会感谢白果。啊，在炸弹爆炸前10秒给它结束了，要不然白果的脸就得
变红。你吃塑料味儿的话，你知道芥末的话应该是挤出来吃，但是我现在已经吃不出辣味儿了，是不是这就是成长？
特别典型一个例子就是有些人也以前小时候吃不了香菜，年纪大之后能吃香菜，尝不出那个味儿来。
像我这种一直能吃香菜的算什么？
就是能吃香菜。小时候。
它这个呢，里面是蜂巢，有一点点黑暗哈，挑战一下吧，尝一尝味道如何。Hello， 大家好。
you